Okay guys, this is your next chapter. It is called function. Yeah, you already learned this in junior high school a little bit. So before we begin, let's take a revise. What have you learned in junior high school? First is relation. What is relation? A relation is a relationship between set of values commonly used x and y. So usually you write x and y, yeah. And then relation can be represented by first arrow diagram, second set of ordered pairs, and then a graph. Yeah, this is what have you learned in junior high school about relation. Next is a function. What is a function? A function is a relation for which each value from the set of the first, yeah, this should be of the first components of the ordered pair is associated with exactly one value from the set of second component of the ordered pair. Oh, so confusing, yeah. The easier way to understand it is each values of x must pair up with one value of y only. So 1x cannot be paired up with 2y. Yeah, based on that we can determine whether the following relation is a function or not. For the first one, 2 pairs up with 1, 3 pairs up with 9, 6 pairs up with 36. Each values of x pairs up with one values of y, so we can say it is a function. For the second one, we can take a look at the 3 pairs up with 9 and then 3 pairs up with 36. One values of y pairs up with 2 values of y, it is not a function. And then for the third one, 2 pairs up with 50, 3 pairs up with 50, 6 pairs up with 50, it is a function because one values of x pairs up with one values of y. And how about to determine ordered pairs? Yeah, 2, negative 1, 2, 1. Take a look at this. For 2, for x equals to 2, it has two values of y, negative 1 and 1. So it is definitely not a function. And then for the next, negative 2, negative 1, 3, negative 1, negative 1, 3, 5, 3, each values of x pairs up with one values of y. So it is a function. Next, a graph. Determine whether this graph is a function or not, yeah. For this one, for the graph, yeah, you can use vertical line test. Okay, so you draw a vertical line like this, along the graph. If each of the vertical line intersect the graph once, right here, once, then it is a function. So we can tell that this one is a function, yeah. And the second one, vertical line test. For each vertical line, it only intersect the curve once, so we can say this one also a function. And for the last one, vertical line test. For the last one, it intersect on 2 points, yeah. 2 points, yeah. So that is not a function. Okay, that is how to determine a function and not a function. Next is still in junior high school, domain, codomain, and range. Domain is the set of all possible inputs for the function, which is x, and codomain is the set of possible output for the function, which is y, and the range is the result of the x and y, yeah. First, find the domain, codomain, and range of the followings. We can see that x is 1, 2, 3, 4, this is the input, and then for the y is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, this is the output, yeah. So we can say that the domain for this one is the domain is the set values of x, ya, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then for the codomain is the set values of y, which is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then for the range is only the result. The result is 5, 6, 7, and 8 only, ya. 9 doesn't have values of x, so it doesn't count as a range, doesn't count as a result, ya, because there are no arrow. Next, 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, 8, 4, 4, and 5, 6. So for this one, the domain will be the set values of x, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then the codomain is the set values of y, 3, 4, 8, 4, and 6. Okay, do not write twice, so I can erase this 4 and then 6. Okay, and then the range also the same with the codomain, yeah, 6. Okay, good. Next. Okay, next is number 3, yeah, it's a graph, so you have to read the graph carefully. Okay, for the domain is set values of x, so you have to focus on the x. From the graph you can see that the graph is start from here and ends right here. It start from x equals to 1 and then end on x equals to 5. So the domain will be from 1 till 5. The domain is 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 5. Yeah, you cannot say the domain is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You cannot say it like this because there are 1.5, there are 1.6, 1.7, 2.5, 3.6, and so on. Okay, so that is the domain. Next is the range. For the range, you have to focus on the y. Yeah, so the y will be start from 3 and then the line ends at y equals to 6. So I can say that the range is between 3 and 6. Range 3 less than or equal to y less than or equal to 6. Yeah. Remember this notation inequalities I already teach you on the first chapter. Next, number 4. Okay, number 4 for the domain. Take a look at the x. Yeah, focus on x. The graph is start from here and then ends here. So it start from 1, ends at 5. Yeah, start from 1, ends at 5. So you can say that the domain is 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 5, between 1 and 5. Next, the range. The range is set values of y, so you have to focus on y. Yeah, it start from here, which is y equals to 5, and then goes down till y equals to 1. Yeah, and then goes up again till y equals to 5. Yeah, so you can tell that the range is between 5 and 1. Between 1 and 5. You can say that the range is 1 less than or equal to y less than or equal to 5. Okay, next, example 5. Okay, for this one it's hard to explain it on English, so I will use bahasa ya. Untuk yang ini itu graphnya itu ada tanda panah ya. Tanda panah itu artinya dia tidak putus, dia tidak berhenti, dia terus-terusan berlanjut gitu ya. Apa artinya terus-terusan berlanjut? Ini kalau saya gambar lagi, kalau saya gambar ulang itu dia terus aja lanjut ke sini terus. Kalau saya gambar lagi terus, ya terus aja ke sini terus gitu. Jadi panjang banget ya. Jadi itu artinya tanda panah. Jadi kalau ada tanda panah itu artinya si graphnya tidak berhenti, terus menerus ya, lanjut terus menerus. Oke, nah untuk domainnya kamu fokus ke X. X itu tapi sebelah kirinya kita tahu ya, dia mulainya itu dari angka 2. Tuh, sebelah kirinya mulai dari angka 2. Tapi ke kanannya nggak tahu. Ke kanannya dia bisa terus ke kanan sampai 5. Stop nggak? Enggak ya. Sampai 10 misalnya di sini. Udah stop belum? Belum juga, nggak stop ya, dia jadi nggak berhenti. Kalau nggak berhenti ya kita tinggal ngomong aja kalau domainnya itu adalah X lebih besar dari 2 ya, karena bisa 3, bisa 4, bisa 5, bisa 6, bisa 7, bisa 8, bisa 9, bisa 10, bisa 100, bisa 1000 dan seterusnya ya. Jadi kita bisa tulis domainnya itu X lebih besar sama dengan 2. Bagaimana dengan range-nya? Kalau range kamu fokusnya ke Y ya. Nah, fokus ke Y-nya caranya dia mulai dari sini, dari angka 1, tapi ke atasnya nggak berhenti. Dia terus aja ke atas terus sampai ke 10 juga bisa. Y-nya 10 bisa. Mau Y-nya 100 juga masih bisa. 1000 masih bisa, 1 juta masih bisa. Jadi range-nya tidak terbatas untuk yang ke atas Y-nya ya. Tapi yang bawahnya, paling bawahnya itu mulainya dari angka 1. Kalau begitu range-nya saya bisa bilang Y pasti lebih besar sama dengan 1 ya, karena 10 boleh, 100 boleh, 1000 boleh ya, berarti saya bilangnya Y lebih besar sama dengan 1. Tapi kalau 0 nggak boleh kan? Kalau min 1 ada nggak? Min 1 di sini ya. Tuh nggak ada gambarnya. Jadi kalau nggak ada ya nggak mungkin. Jadi range-nya Y lebih besar dari 1. Oke, selanjutnya nomor 6, ada kayak gini gambarnya. Itu ada garis tanda panahnya double sekarang ya. Kalau tanda panahnya double artinya dia tidak terbatas ke bawah, ke kiri, sama tidak terbatas kanan atas. Oke, karena tidak terbatas ini berarti semua nilai boleh ya. X-nya 3 boleh nggak? Boleh, ada di sini. Ada 5 ada nggak? Oh, ada juga di sini. Ada 100 ada nggak? Oh, ada di sini, ada ya. Minus 500 ada juga di sini itu ya. Ada minus 1000 nggak? Ada minus 1000 di sini ada. Jadi domainnya tidak terbatas. Kalau domainnya tidak terbatas, kamu tulis saja domain itu sama dengan XER. Ya, apa artinya XER? Itu artinya semua angka dianggap sebagai domain. Oke, semua angka, mau yang koma, mau yang pecahan, mau yang angkanya besar, mau angkanya yang minus 1 juta, itu semuanya dianggap sebagai domain ya, karena memang gambarnya tidak terbatas. Oke, bagaimana dengan range? Range juga kita lihat batas-batas nilai Y-nya. Nah, Y-nya kita lihat ini bisa ke bawah terus ya, berarti Y-nya itu bisa sampai minus 1 juta, minus tak terhingga ya. Ini juga bisa ke atas terus, bisa jadi sampai 1 juta, sampai tak terhingga, berarti semua angka juga boleh untuk Y. Jadi kamu tulisnya YER gitu ya. Nah, kalau ada yang nggak ngerti tentang domain sama range ini, kalian bisa join meeting saya, terus tanya langsung. Oke, nanti saya jelasin langsung di sana, kamu nggak ngertinya di mana. Oke, ya itu tentang domain, range, sama codomain. Yang selanjutnya adalah notation dari function ya. The notation of function is usually fx or gx or maybe hx and so on ya. Next example, fx equals to 2x plus 5 and then gx equals to x squared plus 5x minus 3. Oke, itu notationnya aja. Next, the operation of function. First is addition, fx plus gx. The second is subtraction, multiplication, division, and square, or maybe cube, and so on. For the domain, in addition, yeah, the domain is the intersection between the domain of f and the domain of g. And for subtraction, it's also the same. Multiplication is also the same. Division, we have addition condition for the domain, yeah. Besides the intersection, we also have gx cannot be 0. Why it cannot be 0? Because it's on denominator. Gx is on the denominator, so it cannot be 0. And then for the square, fx square, the domain will be df. Okay, next Example 1. Given that fx equals to 3x plus 5 and gx equals to 4x plus 7, the domain for fx is negative 1 till 10. The domain of gx is 2 till 15. Find fx plus gx and its domain. Find the result of fx plus gx. Maksudnya gitu. Okay, for number A. For number A, it's fx plus gx. So the fx will be 3x plus 5. You only have to add them together. 4x plus 7. So I have fx plus gx equals to 7x plus 12. So I have this function. Okay, this is the answer for fx plus gx. And then the domain. The domain will be the intersection between f and g. The intersection between f and g. So the domain of f is negative 1 until 10, and the domain of g is 2 until 15. To intersect them, you have to use line numbers. Draw a line numbers like this. Okay, and then you have to put the numbers negative 1 until 10 for the x, the first x. Negative 1 until 10, and then give the box. And then for the second one, 2 until 15. 2 is right here, and then 15 is right here. So you have to draw the box again one more time. Find the intersecting area. The intersecting box will be this one. Carinya yang numpuk garisnya. Nah ini. Okay, so the domain of fx plus gx will be start from 2 until 10. Start from 2 until 10, it means 2 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 10. There you go. That is the domain for fx plus gx. Next, for the negative one, the minus, sorry, for the minus, for B, we can say that fx minus gx equals to 3x plus 5 minus the gx for x plus 7. Do not forget to use the bracket. So 3x plus 5 minus 4x minus 7 equals to negative x minus 2. This is fx minus gx. And then for the domain, because the domain is also the intersection between domain of f and domain of g, so the answer will be the same as before. For the minus gx will be tadi apa ya, from 2 till 10 2x 10. There you go for number B. Next is C. For C, we have fx times gx, so you only have to times it. Fx times gx equals to 3x plus 5 times with 4x plus 7. So the result it will be 12x squared plus 21 plus 20 plus 41x plus 35. This is fx times gx, and the domain also the same with before. Fx times gx will be 2 till 10. Okay, next D is fx over gx. Fx over gx will be 3x plus 5 over 4x minus plus 7. So the domain of fx over gx is start from 2 until 10, but there are additional condition for this one. The denominator cannot be 0. So 4x plus 7 cannot be 0. 4x cannot be negative 7, x cannot be negative 7 over 4. Okay, you should write like this: x cannot be negative 7 over 4. Yeah, but because the first one is between 2 and 10, yeah, there are no negative 7 over 4 right here, right? So you don't have to add this conditional for denominator, yeah, but you can write that if you like, yeah. Okay, so this is the domain for fx over gx. Next, the last one, fx square. Fx square is fx square, you have to square the 3x plus 5. It will be 9x square plus 30x plus 25. The domain of fx square will be the same with the domain of fx, yeah, negative 1, x, and 10. There you go. It is for operation of function. Next is the types of function. Yeah, there are several types of function. The first one is a function by its symmetry, odd function. What is odd function? Odd function is a function that is symmetrical to point 0, 0. For example, this is one of odd function, yeah, y equals to 2x. What is the meaning of symmetrical to point 0, 0? First, you know that point 0, 0 is right here, yeah. Symmetrical means if you reflect your curve into the mirror, yeah, the mirror is 0, 0, it will give you the same exactly like the first one, yeah. So I take these parts of the curve and then I reflect to this mirror, yeah, it will give you this one also. Okay, if I take the bottom one, if I take this part of the function and then I mirror it, I reflect it into the mirror, yeah, it will give you exactly the same on the other side, yeah. This is called symmetrical. Okay, next, a function is called an odd function if on and only if f negative x equals to negative fx. So this is used to determine whether a function is odd or not, yeah. Example 1, determine whether fx equals to x cubed is an odd function or not. How to find this? You have to use this condition. This condition, f negative x equals to negative fx. How to use it? First, you have to write the fx equals to x cubed, and then you have to find this one, f negative x. Find f negative x equals to, what is the meaning of f in the bracket negative x? You have to change the x, into negative x, yeah, negative x to the power of cube, and then calculate it. Negative x to the power of cube means negative x times negative x times negative x. It will become negative x to the power of 3. Next, you have to find this one also, negative fx. Negative fx is, what is the meaning of negative fx? You have to times the fx with negative 1. The fx is x to the power of 3, right? You have to times it with negative 1, gitu, ya. So the negative fx will be negative x cubed. And then if the result is the same, then the function is called an odd function, ya. Let's compare it. This is negative x cubed. This one is also negative x cubed. So the result is the same, ya. If it is the same, then the function is an odd function. Yeah, okay, it's easy, right? Next, example 2. Determine whether fx equals to x squared is an odd function or not. Okay, do you remember the steps? Yeah, first you have to find f in the bracket negative x. It means you have to change the x into negative x, ya. Negative x squared equals to x squared. And then the second one, you have to find negative fx. Negative fx means times negative 1 with the fx. The fx is x squared, so the result is negative x squared. Compare them. Is it the same or not? Yeah, it's not the same, so you can say that the function is not an odd function. Next, example 3, x squared minus x, ya. Fx equals to, x cube minus x. Okay, the first step is you have to find f in the bracket negative x. It means you have to change the x into negative x, ya. Change again the x into negative x. You will have negative x cube plus x for this one. And then for the second step, you have to find negative fx, ya. Negative fx mean you have to calculate negative 1 with the fx. The fx is x cube minus x times it negative x cube plus x is the same, ya. If it is the same, then it is an odd function. Okay, that is for odd function. Next we go to even function. Even function is a function that is symmetrical to y-axis. Now, the function is symmetrical to y-axis. Yeah, it means the mirror is y-axis. Take a look at this. This is one of example of x square, an even function. Yeah, the mirror is y-axis. So when we reflect parts of the function, for example this one. And then you reflect to the mirror, it will give you exactly the same at the other side. For these parts also the same, it will give you this one, yeah. So it is called symmetrical to y-axis. How to determine if it is in an even function or not? An even function is f in the bracket negative x equals to fx. Yeah, determine whether fx equals to x4 is an even function or not. Yeah, the step is like before, but from now for this one it's more easier because we only have to check for f negative x. Yeah, f negative x, it means you have to change the x into negative x to the power of 4. It means negative x times negative x times negative x times negative x equals to x to the power of 4. And then you have to check it with fx. Now you have to compare with fx. We already have fx, right? So you don't have to calculate anymore, and you can directly check it. x4 and x4 is the same. Because it's the same, then it means even function. Very easy. How about example 2? Example 2, 2x squared plus 1 is an even function or not, ya. Let's find f negative x. F negative x is 2 times x squared. Change the x into negative x plus 1. So you will get 2x squared plus 1. Is it the same or not? It's the same, ya. If it is the same, then it's called even function. Okay, next example 3, we have fx equals to x squared plus x plus 1. So we have to find f negative x equals to negative x squared plus negative x plus 1. It will be x squared minus x plus 1. If it's the same with fx, it is called an even function. If not, it's not, yeah. X squared minus x plus 1, this one is x squared plus x plus 1 is not the same, not an even function. Oke, hari ini sampai sini dulu, nanti kita lanjut lagi ya. Dadah.